6-2, Houston leading Colorado. Time now for our Geico quote. It comes from Woody Williams, last night's pitcher. We asked him about throwing behind Matt Holliday.
I guess after a home run, that's what happens. But, you know, at that point, I just got to the point where I was tired of giving up runs and making sure I get the ball inside, you know, and goes behind him. So, you know, I don't even think it hit him.
Well, the Astros did not think the pitch hit Holliday, and he said in today's paper that he thought it grazed the back of his jersey, but the Astros vehemently protested that ruling. Woody Williams tossed out of the game.
And I think that's what he meant at the beginning of that quote when he said that's what happens. His point wasn't that's what happens. You throw at people after a home run. His point was if you hit a hitter or throw behind a hitter after a home run, the umpire is more likely to assume it's intentional and eject you, as was the case last night.
Jorge Julio comes in 0-2 with an 8.22 ERA.
Been throwing the ball better of late. The start of the year with the Marlins, things didn't go well there for him. Has that inflated ERA. Still has good stuff. Hard thrower. Just don't know where it's going sometimes.
He delivers ball one to Mark Loretta, who's 1 for 3.
And I second guess the umpires a lot on those ejections because it's hard to crawl inside the head of a pitcher.
Ooh. Matsui flags it down on a hop.
How slick was that?
Yeah. Had a fielding flare on that one for out number 1.
But regardless of what Woody's intent was, it was hard to read anything other than intent when after the home run, the next pitch goes behind the next hitter. That's a little Olay. Never mind the body, I'm going to use my hands.
Yeah.
Hasn't made an error yet this year.
A little flash. Hunter Pence is 2 for 3. And there's strike 1 for Julio. Julio came in Tuesday night and retired 1 batter. Also had a walk. Misses there, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike for Jorge Julio, former closer with Baltimore. And earlier this season, the Astros tattooed him when he was a Marlin, and he was traded to the Rockies. For Young Kim, who's now in the starting rotation for Florida. 2-1 the count for Julio.
Well, the other thing that was interesting that Woody said in that quote was, I was just tired of giving up runs. And sometimes as a pitcher, you just got to push back. You know, you're getting knocked around, you're frustrated. And a lot of times what you do is you'll throw hard in with the intent of if he doesn't get out of the way, it's going to hit him. But I'm not trying to drill him here, but I'm just trying to send him a message, send all their hitters a message that I'm going to compete.
Now it's 3 balls and a strike. Hunter Pence has walked just 5 times. He has a .394 on base average coming into this game. Pops it up. Todd Helton. Iannetta hustling. It's in the dugout, and it's 3-2. The Astros hit a couple of late inning homers against Rockies relievers last night. Berkman in the 8th inning off LaTroy Hawkins. Ensberg a pinch homer in the 9th off Brian Fuentes, the closer, but the Rockies held off the Astros 8-7. Pence strikes out, and he's thrown out by Iannetta to Helton for out number 2.
And if Hunter doesn't start to draw more walks, you'll see more of that. Team's not willing to give in to him because he is such a dangerous hitter. Let's take a look at what's on tap, brought to you by Bud Light. Tomorrow in Chicago, Chris Sampson 5-5, 343, 7 quality starts. He's up against John Danks 3-5 with a 434. Solid start for him last time out at Toronto.
Sampson leads all National League pitchers, rookie pitchers in wins.
That's how they say it in Canada.
That's how they say it. Whoa, the bat gets away from Lance Berkman. Glances off the roof of the Rockies dugout and hits somebody.
They got a vendor, somebody down there.
Yeah, a guy in a yellow shirt. They're calling for help for him.
Lance tweaked something too.
Yeah, like he's He's got a right wrist or right hand problem, it appears. He was shaking the right hand. Looked like maybe his right leg as he took his stride. Something happened there when the spike may have caught.
Loose grip promotes bat speed. The same thing they talk about in golf. You don't want to squeeze the club too tight. That tenses the muscles. It slows down the swing. Same thing with baseball. Relatively light grip on the bat. Firm it up at contact.
No balls and a strike to Lance Berkman, who ripped a homer in the third. And it's 1-1. Line drive goes foul. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rematch of the 2005 World Series starting tomorrow night at U.S. Cellular Field as the Astros meet the White Sox. White Sox skipper Ozzie Guillen really attracts a lot of media attention with his remarks.
Yeah, he and Gary Sheffield have been very quotable lately. They're both dead wrong, but
yeah, but they wind up in print quite a bit.
Yeah.
I haven't found a whole lot of agreement in what Sheffield said, talking to people in uniform.
Sheffield claims that there's more Latin players because Major League Baseball feels like Latin players are easier to control than black players.
Yeah.
What is this control thing all about?
I don't know what that control thing is all about, but the vendor is all right, and that's a good sign.
And Ozzie Guillen claims that baseball is unfairly targeting Latinos in the steroid probe because they are asking him about Venezuela. Well, that's where you're from.
Well, it's June, JD, and you know how it is in baseball. The repetition of the season kind of gets to some people, and they fire off some ridiculous remarks every now and then. Berkman takes a 2-out walk.
The writers in Chicago with Ozzie and Lou Piniella in town. We're having a ball.
Oh, you know it. White Sox have really been shaking things up. They sent David Artsma, Mike McDougal, Andrew Cisco to the minor leagues. They've called up Brett Prince and Ryan Buckfitch. And they also have just called up Josh Fields, the third baseman, to take the place of Joe Creedy, who's on the DL. And Fields is one of their top prospects. Was hitting very well at AAA Charlotte. 10 home runs, about a 285 batting average. So we may be seeing him at third base tomorrow night.
Probably. Now the big boys in the middle of the order aren't getting it done. That's their biggest problem. Jermaine Dye, Paul Konerko struggling.
Trade rumors are starting to swirl. And Creedy may be going down for back surgery. He's visiting doctors now and exploring options. Has a problem with 2 discs, 2 balls and no strikes. I believe that will be Mark Burley's 8th try at his 100th career win on Sunday in the finale of the series. John Danks tomorrow night. John Garland Saturday, so the Astros will see 2 lefties in the 3-game series. And they'll get to use a DH.
Mark Burley recently lost a game where he allowed no base runners. Pitched a complete game. Never once pitched from the stretch.
He allowed no base runners.
Yeah, okay, he did, but he didn't. He allowed 2 solo home runs. That's all he allowed. Never worked from the stretch and got beat by Roy Halladay.
Wow. Lee backs away, and it's 3-1 to Carlos, who's 2 for 3. 2 runs scored. His stolen base paid off in the 2-run 5th inning. Fogg in 5 innings allowed 11 hits and 6 runs, walking 1, fanning 4. That'll hang for a while on the left side of the infield. Tulowitzki in the 6th inning, no runs, no hits. 1 man left for the Astros. The Astros lead the Rockies 6-2. 6-2, the Astros lead the Rockies, and here's the bottom of the 6th inning for Roy Oswalt. Garrett Atkins leads it off. Atkins has walked and bounced out. Here's strike one on the heater from Roy, shooting for win number 7 of the year. Hopp and Tulowitzki to follow. Atkins takes the curveball. The count running to 1-1. 104 wins for Roy Oswalt in his career. Foul back, and it's 1-2. He's lost just 51 with a 3.06 ERA. Trying to make it a 3-0 career record at Coors Field, where his ERA is under 2. It's 2-2. Randy Johnson also has won 104 games. From 2001 up to the present, he and Roy tied for the lead among active pitchers. Chop to third. It goes foul for Morgan Ensberg. Still a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Atkins having pretty good at bats in this series, but what he had been doing prior was exactly that right there, rolling over on pitches out away from him. Trying to pull balls he should be trying to hit the other way, and he's capable of it. Here's the pitch speeds throughout this at bat. Roy this afternoon's been 88 to 93. From a fair number of sliders, the occasional slow curveball. Doing what he normally does, getting the jumps on the hitters.
Now it's a full count. A win today would bring Roy to within 1 of Nolan Ryan's total of 106 wins as an Astro. There's a leadoff walk, and Atkins takes walk number 3 from Oswalt today.
Saturday, June 16th, the Astros play the Seattle Mariners. It's a 6:05 ball game. First 10,000 fans will receive an Oscar Surfer bobblehead courtesy of Coca-Cola and Walgreens. Pictured there, there's Brad catching a wave. Log on to Astros.com for tickets. So you can surf the net and get your tickets to get the Surfer bobblehead.
Yeah. Fly ball center. Hunter Pence heads back late. Still going back. Turning and on the warning track. He hauls it in for a long out, number 1. Brad Hopp sending it back deep. He still had time to recover after he could figure out how deep that ball was going to be.
Hopp thought he got it by his body language going down the line, and then his reaction after it was caught. He thought he knocked this one out of the ballpark. Gave it a pretty good ride. Nice play by Hunter Pence.
Oh, yeah.
What have I got to do?
That's 410 feet. Troy Tulowitzki looks at ball 1. He doubled and scored in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. It's 2-0 as Roy Oswalt works to the bottom of the order here in the 6th inning. Rockies have a left-hander warming up in their pen. No action in the Astros bullpen. That's Tom Martin again for Colorado.
We're having a hard time finding a ball he's happy with. Sometimes you get out there, you get a batch of balls that just don't feel right. They feel big in your hand, or maybe they haven't been rubbed up well enough.
Luke Scott heads back into right center. He's at the wall, and that hits the bullpen for a 2-run homer for Tulowitzki. Number 3 for the shortstop of the Rockies. Now it's 6-4 Astros. 25 runs batted in for Tulowitzki. 1 more than Hunter Pence.
Well, maybe Roy should have tossed that one back into the umpire for another one, too. Tulowitzki driving that fastball into the Rocky bullpen. We talked about Roy's success of giving 4 and then 6 runs of support, but it's a different animal here at Coors Field.
Iannetta with strike 1. Had an RBI single in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. Now a 2-run lead. The Astros have Scott Ensberg and Everett due up in the 7th. Fouling it back. Iannetta falls behind. 0-2 in the count.
Because the ball does carry so well here, the thing that will really frustrate Roy was that leadoff walk. You know, home runs are just part of the deal here. You don't walk people, obviously going to minimize the damage, especially in a nobody out, nobody on situation. A walk to Atkins, the first leadoff man to reach in this game since the Taveras home run to start the ball game.
It's 2-2 with Ryan Spilborghs on deck. The pitcher's spot is due up next. A shot past a diving Berkman is a single to right field by Iannetta, and he is 2 for 3 in this game. And now we get the pinch hitter for Julio, Spilborghs. Julio in 1 inning allowed no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Spilborghs has had a chance to play some center field when Willie Taveras has not been playing. He has 8 hits and 26 at bats, a .308 average, no homers, 5 runs batted in. He has 4 doubles. Has never faced the Astros. He is 2 for 7 with 2 runs batted in as a pinch hitter. Steve Finley, the odd man out, as Spilborghs came up and contributed, and Finley has been designated for assignment by the Rockies.
Did you talk to anybody who has spoken to Finley about what his
No, I didn't.
Plans are, whether he's going to try to play or shut it down?
Couldn't tell you.
It's a heck of a career he's had if this is the end of the road for him.
Very good career. He's 42 now. Strike, and it's 0-2 to Spilborghs. Spilborghs, one of those up-and-coming young Rocky hitters. 7th round pick in 2002. Hit .287 last year for the Rocks in 167 at-bats. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Ryan Spilborghs of Santa Barbara, California. He went to UC Santa Barbara, where he was 2-time All-Big West.
It's a guy, when you look at his numbers throughout his minor league career, who will hit for a pretty good average for you, but not hit the ball out of the ballpark. And sometimes that turns into a 4th outfielder, especially in this ballpark. Unless you have, outstanding speed, you steal a lot of bases. You got to have power in the corners. Taveras settling in center field.
Well, the Rockies very pleased with the job Willie is doing, so Spilborghs is in reserve when needed. He hit .338 last year at Colorado Springs. Slices that one out of play, keeping the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Spilborghs had a pinch double Saturday against Cincinnati. He started 4 games this year, and he's hit all of those 4. Strike 3. 2 outs. Strikeout number 4 for Roy.
Must have been guessing ball.
Must have. The pitch was there.
Roy works so quickly, sometimes you can tell the hitters they don't get ready. They don't get loaded up, and they can't pull the trigger even on what appears to be a fairly hittable pitch.
Willie Taveras bunts. Ensberg bare hands, throws. Safe is the call at first. And Taveras has a bunt single to go with a home run. He's 2 for 4.
Now this is the much more predictable play from Willie than was the home run. But I asked some of the Rocky people, what's he doing? Is he dragging? Is he pushing it? They said basically he's just trying to get it out in front of home plate, out away from the catcher, and then just run like crazy. Not trying to be too fine with it, taking advantage of that very thick infield grass here.
It's his 18th bunt hit for the major league leader. No other player has more than 6. Now Adam Everett, Brad Ausmus coming in to talk with Roy Oswalt with runners at first and second, 2 outs, and Matsui the batter. Matsui's also a good bunter. He's 0 for 3 in this game. He's grounded back to Roy and then hit 2 fly balls. And he's a key man with Holiday on deck, the way Holiday's been ripping it. Strike to Matsui. It has seemed over the years to many a club playing here at Coors Field that Very few leads are safe. One ball, one strike. Roy trying to win for the first time since he beat Arizona at Minute Maid Park on May 12th. He had won 3 straight at that point. He opened the season by winning 3 straight decisions.
You know, comeback wins are big here in the land of John Elway. He was the master.
Trevor Miller is getting loose. Line to Everett. And that's the way the 6th inning closes, with a ball hit sharply by Matsui. And the Rockies cut the lead to 2 runs, coming up with 2 on 3 hits. The Tulowitzki homer makes it 6-4 Astros after 6. It's now 6-4. Houston leading Colorado. It's time for the Dodge Texas truck stop. Let's hear what is Mark Loretta's most memorable game.
Last year it was a Patriots Day game in Boston. And I hit a walk-off home run, my first and only walk-off home run in my career. And it's the day that they have the Boston Marathon going on. It's an early game, and my parents were there. My dad was in the stands, and probably the highlight of my career.
Special moment for Mark Loretta. And these fans here at Coors Field have seen 6 innings of baseball so far. They've seen 10 runs, 19 hits. The Astros lead at 6-4. No errors in the game. Now former Astro Tom Martin becomes pitcher number 3 for the Rockies.
Martin's worked 13 times this year, no wins or losses, a 3.86 ERA. He's only worked 11 2/3 innings. Spent some time on the DL start of the season. Well, Tom has been a survivor.
Oh, he really has. Luke Scott has 2 hits, including an RBI triple in this game. Breaking pitch, strike 1 for Martin after Julio worked a hitless, scoreless 6th. Martin last year 2-0 for the Rocks with a 5.07 ERA. He worked 68 games last year for Colorado.
He's 37 years old now, broke in with the Astros 10 years ago.
Rolled up the line foul, and it's 0-2. Our Panasonic Speed of Sport replay shows you a triple. Luke Scott in the 3rd inning.
There's been about, what, 7 or 8 triples in this series?
Yeah.
4 or 5 anyway. There he goes. Right about here, you're going, oh man, I hope I make it.
5 triples in this series, you're right. One ball and 2 strikes. Tom Martin came up during that 97 season, as you mentioned, as the Astros had had a drought between playoff appearances, and he was a contributor as he was in 55 games that year. He had a 2.09 ERA as the Astros went on to the playoffs for the first time since '86. Fly ball right, hop, 1 down. And it's Morgan Ensberg next. Martin faced the Astros just 1 time last year, gave up a pinch homer to Mike Lamb in Houston. Ensberg is 0 for 2 with a walk. Morgan and Roy Oswalt, the only 2 Astros in the starting lineup, not to reach the hit column so far. Adam Everett's on deck. Tulowitzki, 2 outs. And now it's Everett. Adam with an RBI on a ground out in the 2nd, scored Luke Scott. Then he reached on an infield hit and came around to score on the Ausmus 2-run double in the 5th. Cleveland beat Kansas City 8-3, and it was Tampa Bay over Toronto 5-3. Boston leads at Oakland 1-0 in the 6th. Red Sox have had a rough time in that series. Strike, so the Yankees are whittling away at that Boston lead. Roger Clemens rejoins the Yankees, is due to start on Saturday. 1 ball and 1 strike. Line, and that will reach the outfield grass and trickle on into left field. Adam takes a big turn, and the ball is dropped, but he had already stopped. As Holliday gets it back in, he's on his way back to first with his second hit. He lined it over the third baseman.
Yeah, ball got in on him a little bit, and he just kind of pushed it out there into shallow left field. The Rockies have 3-4-5 coming up in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And Holliday really swinging a hot bat. You just get the sense you might have to score again to win this ball game.
There you see the distribution of hits, and there have been 12 hits for the Astros. Brad Ausmus has a pair. He's the batter right now with Craig Biggio in the on-deck circle. Roy Oswalt due up next. Fly ball, and moving over for it is Hopp in right center. Still over for the 3rd out. No runs, a hit, and a man stranded. It is 6-4 Houston in the middle of the 7th inning. For more on the Astros, we send it to Kevin Eschenfelder for today's Toyota Truck Game Break. Airlines. It's 6-4. Roy Oswalt with the lead. Matt Holliday fouls it for strike 1 as the home 7th gets underway. Holliday has 2 of the Rockies' 8 hits. Both have been doubles. He's 2 for 3 in this game. Todd Helton on deck. Garrett Atkins due up 3rd. Oswalt back out for the 7th inning. Line into center field. A 3-hit game for Holliday, who now has 87 hits this year.
Trevor Miller ready. He'll probably come in for Todd Helton.
Phil Garner already out of the dugout, making that indication. Panda Express brings you a look at our next Astros telecast. It's tomorrow night from Chicago, and it's U.S. Cellular Field, 8:30 on FSN Houston for Astros Live. It's the Astros and the White Sox. Kevin Eschenfelder hosts the pregame show. We'll have the game for you at 7 o'clock on FSN Houston with John Danks and Chris Sampson doing the pitching. That's it. That Astros fan applauding Roy Oswalt, who's in line for win number 7, but the bullpen comes in with a 2-run lead, 6-4. More in a moment.
Booster retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Houston Astros.
Lefty against lefty. Miller against Helton. Runner at first, nobody out. Todd Helton 0 for 2 with a walk. And Miller delivers. It's ball 1 to Helton. Garrett Atkins on deck. Miller came in last night in 1/3 of an inning. He was charged with 2 hits, 2 runs. Helton bounced into a forced play against Trevor. It's 2-0.
Going into the bottom of the 6th, it was a 6-2 ball game. Phil Garner had Roy Oswalt on the mound. Maybe I can relax a little bit this afternoon, but not going to be the case.
So often that is not the case here. Fly ball right field. Scott handles out number 1.
So now do you want to go after Atkins with Miller because you got the lefty on deck, or you go Qualls? No, they're going to go Qualls. Last night, Phil played it the other way, left Trevor in there to get Hopp, and Hopp hit the 2-run triple.
Meanwhile, Manny Corpus is warming up for the Rockies. 6-4 Houston. Back in a moment.
Welcome back, everybody. Chad Qualls warming it up, still looking for a great Father's Day gift. Well, celebrate Father's Day at Minute Maid Park on Sunday, June 17th. Bring that out to the ball game. It's a 105 start with the Mariners, and if you're one of the first 10,000 men 16 and older, you'll receive a grill set, compliments of kielbasa. Minute Maid Park is the place to be for Father's Day, so log on to Astros.com for your tickets.
Phil Garner used the relievers in this same order last night. Trevor Miller, then Chad Qualls, relieving the starter Woody Williams in the 7th inning. And for the 2nd straight game, that is the pattern. Last night, Qualls, in 2/3 of an inning, allowed 2 hits, no runs. Gave up an RBI single to Troy Tulowitzki and another hit to Torrey Alba. There you see his numbers for the year.
Been a little bit of a downslide in recent days.
Garrett Atkins, the batter. He's walked twice. He's 0 for 1. He takes strike one. Trevor Miller retired Helton, the only man he faced. Brad Hopp is on deck.
Chad Qualls is a very valuable man in that bullpen, of course. One of the better setup guys in the league the last couple of seasons, but he's really important too because the Astros have just that one lefty. Because of his sinker, he's very effective against left-handed hitters. So you can make this move here to get the righty-on-righty advantage you're looking for and still feel you got a good chance against the left-handed hitter Hopp, who's on deck. Of course, you get the double play ball here and renders that moot.
Atkins, that would have been a good double play ball, but he fouled it, and it's 1-2 to Garrett Atkins. Well, left-handed hitters are hitting a measly 205 against Chad, so he's a good matchup as a second lefty, so to speak, in the bullpen. Right-handed hitters are managing a 282 average against Chad. And he checks the runner. Holiday with a throw. Atkins is 0 for 4 in his career against Qualls. Gets a foul tip, and Atkins strikes out. That's number 2 in the out department here in the inning. Strikeout number 5 for Astros pitching.
A good hard slider, a Lidge-like slider with that good downward tilt.
Brad Hopp is 0 for 3, but he hit a deep drive caught by Hunter Pence about 410 feet away in the 6th inning. Qualls delivers strike one.
Third straight day that Chad has worked through 14 pitches in yesterday's ball game, 11 the night before, so he hasn't really been taxed, but probably earned himself a day off for tomorrow.
Yeah, he had 4 appearances last week. 1 ball, 1 strike, and this is number 3, well, number 4 of this week actually. Phil Garner was asked about staying with Woody Williams last night as he brought him back out for the 7th inning, and one reason was to try to save the guys in the bullpen like Chad Qualls. So the appearance is starting to pile up. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and that does affect the manager's thinking.
The breakdown of the pitches thrown in the last 7 days for Chad. You see working both Tuesday and Wednesday. Monday was the off day. Worked on Sunday. Friday worked hard, 24 pitches in that game against the Redbirds. And I think, Phil, he always kind of gives you that sense that he's not really comfortable with the 11-man pitching staff, willing to try it and see how it goes. But he's much more comfortable when he's got 12, so he's going to ask a little bit more out of his starters. And perhaps maybe start to work Brian Moeller into the mix a little bit more. That might be part of the solution too.
Could be. Line to center field. Pence over to play it on 1 bounce. Here's a shot at third base. Whoa! And a shot at second, and he gets back. Holiday took a big turn, and then Hunter Pence hit the cutoff man, Adam Everett, who had a shot at him trying to get back to second on the single by Hopp.
A good aggressive turn of second base there by Holiday. Certainly you can't afford to make the third out of third base. And I don't think he was going to go anywhere. He's just trying to draw a throw, but he lost his footing and it almost cost him.
Almost did. Runners at first and second, 2 outs now for Tulowitzki, who's had a double and a 2-run homer the last 2 times up. He lays off the slider, ball 1. Tulowitzki had that RBI single to right last night off Qualls.
So it looks like he hits the ball the other way pretty well.
And he's worked the count 2-0 with Ionetta on deck. Qualls making his 188th appearance since the start of 2005. That's third in the majors, second in the National League.
A dangerous pitch coming. A good low strike is what you're looking for here from Qualls. Get it, baby.
2-1. Rockies have come from behind 4 times to win when they trailed after 6 innings. They trail by 2 with 2 on and 2 outs here in the 7th. Upstairs for ball 3.
Well, he's had a tight zone up and down today. A little leeway down, I guess, but there's been a number of pitches like that. Look like they're certainly in the strike zone, but he's called them high. He's been consistent, though.
Ground ball, Adam Everett throws to first. What a play to win the 7th inning. Smoothly done by the Astros shortstop. No runs, a couple of hits, 2 men left. Moving to the 8th at 6-4. 6-4, the Astros leading the Rockies. Our Jack-in-the-Box standings show you the National League West, which has really been a good-looking division. The Padres and Diamondbacks tied for the lead. Dodgers a game and a half behind. The Rockies have climbed out of last, 28-31. They're 7.5 games back.
Everybody playing a winning baseball in recent days, but the Diamondbacks really got it going on. 9 out of their last 10, but they've only been able to gain 1 game because the Padres have been red hot as well.
Clint Hurdle waited until Craig Biggio was announced as the pinch hitter for Chad Qualls. Now he's making his move to Manny Corpus. We'll be back with that matchup in a 6-4 game in the 8th inning right after this. Craig Biggio's the pinch hitter for Chad Qualls. Manny Corpus in the game for Colorado. And there's strike 1 to Biggio, leading off the 8th inning with the Astros up by 2, 6-4. Corpus pitched Tuesday night in the opener of this series. He allowed a 2-run homer to Luke Scott after hitting Carlos Lee with a pitch. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Let's check the progress on Manny Corpus in 2007.
He's having a nice season. He works from that low 3/4 arm delivery. He's been on the mound now 30 times, 2-2 record, and a 3.10 ERA. League hitting just .216 against him. Got good life on the heater. Good changeup, the slider.
That's a swing, and it's 1-2. Tom Martin in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs. Biggio at .229 with 3 homers, has 17 runs batted in, 1 for 9 in this series. 21 hits away from 3,000. Willie Taveras has swung around to left center. Strikeout, 1 out. Biggio 0 for 2 pinch hitting this year now, and it's Mark Loretta next.
A little bit of a crossfire delivery, and he drops that arm down a little bit. And that's tough for a right-handed hitter to keep that front side in. So even though the pitch location wasn't particularly good, a slider that was up over the plate, Craig pulling off of it. Astro hitters had not seen much of this guy. That works to his advantage.
Mark Loretta's 1 for 4. Tuesday night was the first time he had faced the Astros. Loretta takes ball 1. Corpus, 24 years old, from Panama City. Teammate of Carlos Lee on that Panama team in the World Baseball Classic. And he hit Lee up around the left shoulder with that pitch. 2 balls, no strikes, and he left the ballpark before anybody could interview him after that game. But apparently has since said that there was no bad blood between him and Lee from that experience. But both benches emptied.
After he hit Carlos, started talking to him as he went up the line, and Corpus responded, and so both benches came out just in case. Nothing really came of it. So it's interesting because Carlos said nothing went on either, and there's no bad blood, but he's kind of said it in such a way that have people curious. And one of the local writers here claims there's some history between the two. So nobody really knows. or anybody that does isn't saying.
Yep.
The game situation tells you that, just a bad idea if it was something personal that you would take a shot at a guy in a 2-1 game like that. I mean, if he did, it was dumb.
Yes.
Right?
And he paid for it by allowing the 2-run homer after hitting Lee. Loretta takes a 1-out walk.
I tend to think the ball just got away from him. But
That's what he said. Our Valero Energy to take anywhere play shows you the Astros with that Brad Ausmus 2-run double in the 5th inning. At the time they led 4-2. That took it to a 6-2 lead as Ausmus picked up his 2nd hit of the day. Hunter Pence also has 2 hits. He's 2 for 4. A double and an infield hit. Lance Berkman's on deck. Corpus has given up 7 earned runs in his last 9 innings. Fouled away for strike 1.
Well, Hunter may know a little bit about Corpus. Corpus spent a good chunk of last year at AA Tulsa, so maybe Hunter saw him some.
Good half. Corpus had 19 saves there and an ERA of 0.98. Lined up the right field line, foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Corpus has fit in very nicely to that late inning setup role. He has 13 holds. All these games have been close in this series. The Astros got that 2-run homer in the 9th Tuesday to win 4-1, and then Colorado took it 8-7 last night. Pence strikes out. 2 down. And it's Berkman batting.
Again, that drop down delivery forces the hitter to stay back a little bit, not able to cover the outside part of the plate. Not a good AB there for Hunter.
Lance Berkman hit a 2-run homer in the 3rd. He walked in the 6th inning. And he thought on the bus coming over that Joe Savory, the lefty pitcher first baseman from Rice, had a pretty good shot at being drafted in the 1st round today, and that did in fact happen. There's ball 1. Rice and Texas A&M this weekend. That should be a most interesting super regional. Fouled with Carlos Lee on deck. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Kurt Schilling has a no-hitter going.
Really?
Yeah, through 7. 1-0 Red Sox over Oakland. Joe Blanton working for the A's. Well, he's been relieved now. Schilling's never pitched a no-hitter.
I don't believe he has. 1-2 the count. Fausto Carmona is 7-1. Cleveland beat Kansas City 8-3 as he got his 7th win.
Schilling hasn't walked anybody in that ball game either.
1-2, 2 outs. Two balls, 2 strikes to Berkman. Lance is a .363 career hitter against Colorado. Rich Hill goes for the Cubs tonight in Atlanta. Chuck James will be pitching for the Braves. Phillies and Mets finish their series. Cole Hamels and John Maine with a good matchup tonight. Line to Matsui. And in the 8th inning, it's no runs, no hits, and a man left. It's 6-4 Houston.
Brad Lidge warming it up, bottom of the 8th, 6-4 Astros lead. Coming up after the game on Astros Live, Brownie and I will recap today's game. Neil Holfeld will provide analysis from the Fox Sports Grill. You'll hear from Phil Garner and some of the players from the Astros clubhouse. Astros Live hosted capably by Kevin Eschenfelder after our game on FSN Houston.
Now it's Brad Lidge coming in with a 6-4 lead for the Astros in the bottom of the 8th inning. He pitched again last night, and this is 3 for 3 for Brad in this series, as the Astros bullpen really comes in for a heavy pattern of use. Lately, he's 2-1 and a 2.51 ERA.
Scoreless inning of work last night, 9 consecutive scoreless for Brad Lidge. Really on top of his game. Phil Garner saying that he would not hesitate to use Brad Lidge now in safe situations, but he likes the job Wheeler's doing, so he doesn't want to mess with the makeup of his bullpen.
His first pitch to Chris Iannetta comes in tight for ball 1. Iannetta is 2 for 3 with an RBI. Jeff Baker's on deck to pinch hit for Manny Corpus. Willie Taveras due up third in the inning. Popped up. Carries out to Hunter Pence in center. He's chasing it over to right center as the wind takes it and still going and reaches back.
Oh my! Jeepa. The wind is howling out there.
It really
Something
is.
just flew by the booth here. It looked like a fruit tray or something. You can watch this baby. Napkin's starting to swirl. It's shades of Candlestick Park. I got it. I got it. I hope I got it. Man, I got it.
That's an adventure, but the wind will make it that way. And it is really whipping. Now Jeff Baker, the pinch hitter. And there's strike 1 to him as he bats for Corpus, which will prevent a Corpus lead matchup in the 9th inning. 221, 2 homers, 6 runs batted in for Baker, who's 0 for 1 in this series. Baker's late on that one, and he's behind in the count, 0-2 now. Lidge has really put together an outstanding string of work.
Baker swings a little long. I think he can beat him with a heater. Josh Fogg was the starting pitcher today. It's windy, so we've got weather on our mind. So we put together our all-weather team for you yet again. Fogg, Rains, David Weathers, JT Snow, Ken Cloud, Chip Hale, Storm Davis, Ron Weatherly, Sunny Jim Bottomley, and Windy Bradshaw.
Baker strikes out. 2 down for Brad Lidge.
Not sure I'm familiar with Windy Bradshaw.
No, don't know him.
The other guys, we recognize the names. Here, take that slider and see what you can do with it.
Just to round out that theme, though, the Rockies drafted Casey Weathers, a pitcher from Vanderbilt, in the first round today. Willie Taveras has a homer and a bunt single, 2 for 4. Morgan Ensberg in tight at third. The wind is really whipping again today, as it was last night. Brad Lidge delivers ball 1. Lidge has a 0.51 ERA in his last 16 outings, giving up 1 earned run over 17 2/3 innings.
Showing no ill effects of all the work he's getting. He's still very crisp, throwing hard. Matter of fact, really benefiting, I think, from all the work. He's been very sharp. Chilling no good through 8 innings now.
Oh, that Oakland club has really been banged up this year. 2-1. Outside the right field line, this will drift out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Willie T. The Astros have Lee, Scott, and Ensberg due up in the 9th.
You look at the line for Brad the last 7 days in terms of pitches thrown. Well, he's been very busy as well. Pitching coach and manager, they keep a chart with every appearance the guy makes, how many pitches he makes.
Closer to the right field line, Luke Scott into foul territory with a good running catch. Makes it a 1-2-3-8 for Brad Lidge. Moving to the 9th. 6-4 Houston. It's Houston 6, Colorado 4 after 8 in Colorado. The Astros' upcoming schedule is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Tomorrow in Chicago against the White Sox, it's Chris Sampson and John Dank's pregame show at 6:30 on FSN Houston. And then Saturday on Big Fox, Channel 26 in Houston. You have the matchup at 2:55. Sunday at 1 o'clock. And then at Chicago for one more day, but against the Cubs on Monday at 7. That one is on the Astros television network.
Who's JJ?
I was wondering that myself. Jeremy Affeld's 2-1 with a 3.18 ERA.
Oh, Jason Jennings.
Yeah. We got to get used to that. We haven't seen it referred to that way graphically, have we?
Is that his nickname?
I don't know. It's a space saver. Carlos Lee has 2 hits, and he's facing Jeremy Affeld, pitcher number 5, who hits him with a pitch. Leading off the 9th inning, Lee hit for the 2nd time in this series. Heads up the first baseline, and Luke Scott will bat.
Just clips him with that running fastball. Cutting action from the left-hander. Won't even leave a mark.
That's the 4th time Carlos has been hit this season. Luke Scott with a single, an RBI triple, 2 for 4, with Morgan Ensberg on deck. And he looks at ball 1 from Jeremy Affeld. He was traded to the Rockies over the winter by Kansas City, or during last season rather. Affeld is from Phoenix, 28 years old. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kansas City drafted him in the 3rd round in '97. He started 9 games last year, but primarily has been a reliever in recent seasons. 2 balls and a strike.
A lot of double takes from the pitchers today.
Rob Drake is the home plate umpire.
The old, where was that pitch body language?
It's 2-2.
Affeld, of course, playing for the Royals, and they've had some awfully bad teams while he was there, so he probably heard he was being traded. Probably that's a good thing. Then he found out he was coming to Coors Field. Maybe not such a good thing.
Strikeout, 1 out. A slower speed breaking ball. Morgan Ensberg is 0 for 3 with a walk. 12 hits for the Astros. And there's ball 1 to Ensberg, trying to join in that hit column. All the other 8 starting position players are in there with at least 1 hit so far. Morgan doesn't want to be left out.
Well, that would have been a good one to attack.
1-1. Affeld has really done well against lefty hitters. 174. Right-handed hitters are hitting 255 against him. Adam Everett's on deck. It's 1-2.
Morgan taking long looks down at third base coach Doug Mansolino. I can't imagine what he's looking for. Just, if Carlos runs, he just runs on his own anyway. Maybe just out of habit.
Could be. Breaking pitch blocked, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Affeldt has not given up a long ball this year in 23 innings, and going back to last year, 33 innings without surrendering a homer.
And by golly, he's due.
He really is due. Ground ball to third. Atkins gets it to second. Matsui dropped the ball. He got the out. Lee is forced at second base for out number 2, but Matsui dropped the low throw. And Lee might have been safe, but he was assuming an out.
Yeah, if he'd gone to the bag, he would have been safe, because this was not, you know, the deal where they're calling him out because he got the ball out, and I think Carlos got to the bag before Matsui did.
Might have. Yeah,
No,
it looked like it.
I think let's take another look if we can.
Now Adam Everett with ball 1. He is 2 for 4 with an RBI. But Carlos saw the throw on its way, and he slowed down, almost made a right turn. Then he tried to get to the bag.
They just assuming there, and he got caught assuming. So he was just going to get out of the way of the relay throw, and the ball's dropped, and the foot race is on. And Matsui got in, I think, just ahead of Carlos's left foot.
Yep. Ed Hickox with the call. Really close, though.
Oh, we jinxed another one.
Sean gave up a hit.
2 outs in the 9th inning.
We can really do that, can't we? It's virtually automatic. If we talk about a no-hitter, it's gone.
There'll be a lot of hits on Schill's blog tomorrow. Get his perspective on that one.
3 balls, no strikes.
Shannon Stewart broke it up.
3-1 to Everett. Osmus on deck. It's ball 4, and the Astros could use insurance runs. They lead by 2. Matsui, Holiday, and Helton due up in the bottom of the 9th. Osmus delivered a couple with that 5th inning double. He's 2 for 4. Chris Burke comes out to the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot due up next. Strike to Osmus. Dan Wheeler apparently just standing out in the bullpen, not throwing at the moment. Can't really see him, but it looks like him from just a portion of his body. Strike to Osmus. There's Wheels. He's behind that wall. No balls and 2 strikes. Is down on strikes in the 9th inning. No runs, no hits, a couple of men left. Down to the bottom of the 9th. 6-4 Astros. It's 6-4. The Astros lead it. And now Dan Wheeler, the closer, comes in for the bottom of the 9th inning. Matsui, Holiday, and Helton are due up for the Rockies. As Wheeler takes over, Brad Lidge worked a spotless 8th with 1 strikeout.
And so far so good from the Astros bullpen this afternoon. Wheeler picked up a save, his 10th in game 1 of this series Tuesday night, a 1-2-3 9th inning. 0-2, 4.67 ERA, 10 saves now for Wheeler. And 4 strikeouts for every watt. That save last time out coming after a couple rough outings against the Cardinals where he gave up 3 runs in back-to-back appearances. It's Matsui 0 for 4 leading it off. Ensberg's on the grass at third.
All the infielders shortened up for Matsui. Showing bunt, he takes ball one. Astros trying to win a series for the first time in a while. They've dropped 5 straight series. Foul back, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Wheeler has a career high with those 10 saves this year. He had 9 last year. His only blown save was when he was still a setup man. Strike makes it 1-2. Wheels has struck out at least 1 in each of his last 12 games for a total of 19. Left-handed hitters are hitting only 154 against Dan. Matsui with a line drive. Carlos Lee in, but it loops in for a hit. He takes a big turn. He's going to second. Here's the throw. He's safe. A double for Matsui. His 5th.
The Rockies just looking for some traffic in front of their big boppers. They got it with Matsui. A certain amount of risk going for 2 here, but he does take the double play away from the Astros now. Had to come in hard to beat that throw. It's the kind of play you could jam your ankle on.
Now the potential tying run comes to the plate. Matt Holliday. Holliday's having another big day. 3 for 4, 2 doubles and a single. Todd Helton's on deck. Foul for strike 1. Hunter Pence just moved over about 3 steps more toward right center.
Holliday's reached base in 8 of his last 9 plate appearances. On base 5 times yesterday. 3 hits, a couple of doubles.
Inside for ball 1. 1-1 to Holliday. Holliday fouls it. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Wheeler had a 3-run lead in that Tuesday night game. Now a 2-run advantage, but with a leadoff double, Matsui has put him in some trouble right off the beginning of his outing here. And he's at 1-2 on this hitter, as he was on Matsui. Grounded foul.
Well, Holliday obviously seeing the ball well and feeling pretty good about his swing. He's looking to do some damage, so you might be able to get him to chase a pitch. He's only walked 12 times all year. Pretty aggressive hitter.
Wheeler's 0-1 in his career against the Rockies with 1 save and a 2.92 ERA. Osmer stops that one in the dirt. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Into right field. Matsui around third, coming home. And the throw goes into second. It's now a 1-run lead, 6-5. RBI single by Holliday on his 4th hit. 46 runs batted in for Holliday.
Shoots the ball the other way on a fastball that was up and away. Down, he has to change the angle of the bat to get to it. He might hit you a lazy fly ball, but the pitch up. Swing stayed on plane, solid line drive single. Good play by Scott, just disregarding the base runner scoring and keeping that tying run out of scoring position.
Todd Helton's the batter. Helton 0 for 3 with a walk.
I'm not sure if that's good news or not, the fact that Helton's 0 for 3.
Garrett Atkins on deck. Helton had 2 triples in back-to-back at-bats Tuesday night. 0 for 5 last night. 0 for 3 in this game. Helton's a career .343 hitter against the Astros.
There's a breakdown on the work for Dan Wheeler. Has not been worked quite as hard as Qualls and Lidge. Pitching yesterday's ball game. Worked hard on Sunday against the Redbirds.
34 pitches. Line drive. Carlos Lee moving in, and it gets out of his glove and flips back toward the infield. And Holliday goes to third on a hit by Helton. Lee got there, got a glove on it, but then like a high-lie Cessna, it came flipping out of there.
Didn't get a very good read on that ball. A little bit of a hesitation. And then tried to close at the last instant.
Holliday goes first to third on a hit by Helton. 13 hits for the Rockies. Phil Garner's coming out now. With Atkins the batter, runners at first and third, nobody out. Had a near catch last night on a double as well over in left center field. Got his glove on the ball. So now the Rockies down by 1. Have Atkins 0 for 2 with 2 walks. With that runner at third, the tying run, and nobody out. And Brad Hopp on deck. Infield in. Strike 1 on the foul ball by Atkins.
Phil Garner doing everything he can to prevent this tying run from scoring. He's already used Qualls, he's used Lidge, he's got his closer in there, Wheeler. He doesn't want to play for extra innings here and get into a long extra inning affair or even an extra inning affair of any kind. So he's doing everything he can to cut off that tying run. The risk, of course, with that infield in, it makes it easier to move the go-ahead run into scoring position with a base hit.
1-1 to Atkins. Atkins drove in 120 runs last year. He has 23 so far this season. Rockies have had 3 walk-off wins this year. Two balls, 1 strike. Hopp on deck with Holliday at third. Helton at first. A double and 2 singles here in the 9th inning. Have the Rockies knocking on the door. Fake to third, a look to first. and a miss by Atkins. Takes the count to 2-2.
Punch out here would be huge. Dan Wheeler's got to be thinking strikeout. Good slider there. Again, pulling off of it a little bit. That's what Atkins had been doing prior to the Astros coming to town, pulling off a lot of balls.
In tight for ball 3. It's a full count.
Trying to get the inside corner. Pretty good looking pitch. Just a hair off the plate.
Atkins has struck out 33 times, 213 at bats. The bases are loaded with nobody out for Brad Hawk.
Overthrew a slider there, trying to get the swing and a miss.
Hawk singled in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 4.
I don't know if David Blaine could get out of this mess.
Pinch runner at second base, Jamie Carroll for Helton. Carroll represents the potential winning run in this game. 6-5 now, and Hawk 37 runs batted in. Tulowitzki's on deck.
How about a one-hopper to the mound?
Wouldn't that be something? Triple play ball. Strike for Hawk. How wild would that be? A triple play to end the game.
With the infield in, I'm trying to imagine the scenario.
It is hard to figure how that could happen. It's 0-2 to Hawk. Holiday, Carroll, the pinch runner, Atkins, the base runners, nobody out. A 1-run Houston lead. Well, all 3 of these games have been dandies. Rockies come into Houston at the end of this month for a 4-game series. It's 1-2. Hawk not climbing the ladder on that one. By the way, that game on Saturday, June 30th, between the Astros and Rockies has been changed to a 6:05 start. Originally, it was going to be a 2:55 start, I believe. Fly ball, right field. Scott with a runner tagging at third, coming in for the catch. He fires home. Holiday coming in. And the Rockies get a sacrifice fly from Hawk to tie it 6-6, and Carroll goes to third.
It was shallow enough where Luke felt like he had a shot at home, and you've got to take that shot. You know, there's a price to be paid for it because Carroll moves to third base now with just 1 out. But trying to hang on to a lead on the road was probably worth the shot.
Tulowitzki's the batter. He has a double and a 2-run homer and 4 at bats. 2 runs home to tie the game now, and Tulowitzki has runners at first and third, and the Astros have Everett and Loretta at double play depth. And Osmus goes out. 7 out of 13 times Tulowitzki has driven in the runner from third with less than 2 outs.
We're going to see if he's willing to get himself out here. We're going to appeal the tag at third base.
Appeal denied, and the runner did not leave too soon. Wheeler got Tulowitzki in the 9th inning Tuesday night on a fly ball to right field. Strike to the rookie shortstop with Iannetta on deck.
And after Iannetta, it's the pitcher spot, and that's why you don't have to give in to Tulowitzki here if you end up walking him. You've got to get 2 more outs before the Rockies score 1 more run. So it's either Tulowitzki, Iannetta, or Iannetta and the pinch hitter, or some combination thereof.
Oh, he's cranking. That pitch was out of the zone, and it's 0-2 on Tulowitzki.
Big swings, trying to drive in that game winner. First full year in the big leagues, trying to be a hero. We'll take a couple shots out of the strike zone here now for sure.
One ball and 2 strikes. Tulowitzki's bounced into 5 double plays. Closer Brian Fuentes is getting loose for the Rockies in their bullpen, with the possibility of extra innings. Ground ball on through into left field. Carroll scores, and the Rockies win in their final at bat. Their 4th walk-off win of the year. They scored 3 in the 9th to win it 7-6. And they complete a 6-4 homestand by pummeling the man who got the game-winning hit, Troy Tulowitzki. It's his 3rd hit of the day, giving him 3 runs batted in.
I got to believe Dan Wheeler didn't make the pitch he wanted to make there, and that's obviously easy to say after the base hit, but my hunch is he wanted to maybe go way upstairs out of the strike zone and just wasn't able to make his pitch.
Our player of the game, brought to you by Gatorade, is Troy Tulowitzki, the rookie who had a double, a 2-run homer, and then the game-winning hit.
Well, somewhere in about the 7th inning, I remember thinking the Astros probably going to have to score again to win this game. They did not. They shut it down. Didn't score after the 5th. It's just dangerous in this ballpark. The Rockies able to come back and pick up the W. Tough loss.
The Astros left men on base in every inning of this game. They had the lead. When they got 2 in the 5th inning, they led it 6-2, and it got away from them. The final 7-6. Stay right here. The Astros Live postgame show is just ahead with interviews and highlights. Kevin Eschenfelder will be joined by Neil Holfeld, who's at the Fox.